Well, looks like it's time. Let's go. Hello! Do you like my beautiful dice? I'm just going over what all I need to make. There's a few things that I need to make, and then also I should have enough resin to make another set of dice, and I don't know what I want to make. So I'm trying to figure that out. I do have a few things that I do want to do, though. Set that over there for now. I made some kind of blank dice type things. You can see here. These are matte, but there's no numbers on them. There's no numbers on them. And I want to see if I can kind of make like a sort of geode type effect with this. I got this idea from a friend who also streams, who used like a sphere that fit inside of like a D20. And I'm wondering if I can do it with just little blanks. And I didn't bother with flattening off the top here, since it's gonna fit into the mold and it's gonna be clear resin there anyways. But let me get these out of the molds. So that's one thing I'm gonna do. We're gonna try putting those into some regular molds with a little bit of black resin, like an opaque black, I think, on the bottom, and then a clear resin on top. That's my plan anyways. And we're gonna stick with it. That is actually the plan this time. I don't know what else I would do with this, so we're sticking with the plan. I dusted some like multi-chrome flakes in here, which means that these molds are kind of dirty. And then I think I added maybe too much stuff in here. I added a bunch of like metallic. Actually, here, let me grab the D6. It'll probably be easiest to see on the D6. But let's see here. I dusted the mold with some like multi-chrome. So it's multiple colors. You can kind of see, depending on the angle you're at, it's a different color. And then I filled it with a bunch of stuff, but I might have filled it with too much stuff, because there's like a lot going on in there. So I don't know if you'll even be able to see any of the multi-chrome or anything. But I'm hoping that they at least kind of look geode-ish. We'll find out. We'll find out. It's a little bit of an experiment. I've been trying to make like geode dice since I started making dice, pretty much. I tried to make geode dice a long while back. Alright, D4. I want to make sure that these fit into the molds good. I have this mold, my D4, my blank D4 mold, is actually a little bit too big. The blank is a little bit too big. I've gone ahead and sanded my master down more. Hi, Critstick, how you doing? I've sanded the master down a little bit now, so that it's a little bit smaller, but I probably want to make sure that this will actually fit in here. Oh, okay, I think we'll be good since I didn't fill it up all the way to the top. I think we're good. I'm trying to figure out what I want to make for like a last set of dice, because I've got the dice pretty much, like what I'm making pretty much figured out, but I could have enough resin to do like one more set of dice, I think. Or, let me think about this. I think this will take about 15. These will take about 15, so that's about 30. And then I was thinking of making some phone grip. Oh, this mold has issues. This mold has major issues. There's a big gash in this mold. That's unfortunate. Well, that's gonna go over here as a reminder that I need to remake that. I need to make more molds anyways. I've been kind of putting off making molds. This is gonna go into a thing with a bunch of resin anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but it'd be easier if there wasn't a giant gash in it. Alright, so we've got these, and these are just going to be with like some opaque black and some clear. Like I said, that's the plan. So let me actually grab my opaque black. That's this one. Nice little opaque black. I'll put that over there. So the other, let me put these away. The other thing that I definitely want to do is I went and got some little tiny bottles recently here, and I'll show you. This was kind of a little test to see how it would go, basically. I don't know. I'm debating making like earrings like this, maybe. So there's a little bottle with a little shell. It's like a very, very light blue with a little bit of shimmer in there. look how dirty my hands are. I spilled black ink all over my hands the other day. Black alcohol ink. But I was debating making like earrings like that, maybe. And so I have that. I have these that I set up already. They look very exciting, I'm sure. Look, aren't those exciting? Aren't those exciting bottles? So exciting. Has kind of a sea foam green in there. But this is actually because I want to make some little coral reef necklaces, maybe? I made a set of dice. I posted them on social media all over the place today. But I made some dice that had little tiny coral reefs in them. Because I made a bunch of little pieces of like coral type things. Coral and seagrass and stuff. Let me put a few in my hands so I can hopefully show you. See if I can get it so you can see. But I made a bunch of like little like coral type things, and made some dice with little coral reefs in them. And so now I want to make some necklaces too. Since I have leftover pieces of coral, I might as well. And I think they'd make cute necklaces, so we're gonna do that. I've got a few. Let me not knock everything over. I've got a few just little individual things I need to do. I need to do a green blank D8. Probably this green, and I probably want that to be opaque. So I'm gonna want white, so I might actually want a drop of this one too. I want it to be kind of a brightish green. So we want that for D8. D6, I need to do kind of like a dirt one. It's gonna get painted. So I want some coffee grounds. I want a little bit of... I've been bunked! No! How dare! How dare! Where's my... Oh, there it is. I put it down with my pigments. I was like, where did the cinnamon go? It's down with my pigments. So we're gonna do kind of like a dirt blank D6. I'm good. I'm trying to figure out my last set of dice. I also have... I have an idea that I want to run past you guys. So, we'll, Oh! Thanks for hosting, Sai. Good to see ya. Yeah, there's an idea that I kind of want to run past you a little bit. Not just you, but, like, everybody. But I figured I'd wait a second till I get to that. But remind me, what did you do today? Something fun, hopefully. I'm thinking I might try to go get my booster shot tomorrow. I have that on my to-do list anyways. I think this D2, I need to do just part of it because then I was going to paint it. I think I'll do this the same green as this. Might as well. And then the D4, I'm going to do a little spot of the brown as well. So that works out. Of course you did. Well, thank you. Thank you once again for resubscribing with your Prime sub. You know what I should do? I should really make some, like, fun, like noises and stuff for when that happens. Because I'm kind of using some of the default Streamlabs ones. That's just some of the things that they are built in. But I think I could make my own. It's true. I was suspicious, but I was just like, it's what he already did today. So what did he already do today? It can't be resubscribing because it's something that he's already done. Okay. So I should have enough resin for another. Sorry, I'm just setting some things up out of the way. I should have enough, not for knocking things over, just a moment, I'm knocking over all my little bits of let's pick it up with this. Let me just pick it up with this. It's going to be easier if I could just slide it on top of something and put it back on, because things are so small. Get back in there. Okay. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. I have enough resin for like one more set of dice, and I don't know what I want to do. So I should just probably figure out some colors and stuff and throw them together. But I don't know what colors I want to do. I want something that I wouldn't normally do. Maybe we should try something with the, get my knee out. Alright. Maybe we should try something with the new black foil that I got. Because I haven't really done much with it, but I like it. Maybe we should do that with like kind of like a foggy white. That might be kind of cool. And maybe like some sort of floral or something in it. Like a black foil with like a foggy white and like a floral of some sort. What have I got? I could do, I could do like kind of whitish flowers maybe. What do you think? What do you think? Let's see. Like I've got some different flowers. A lot of my flowers are not down here at the moment. I took them upstairs for photographs and I did not bring them back down. So a lot of my florals are not here at the moment. I'd have to run and grab them from upstairs. But we could do like flowers of some sort. But I don't know. Could try doing this with like a different glitter or something too. See, this is it. I'm not sure what I want to make. I'm not sure what I want to make today. We could also just try doing like fun colors and just do something with that. So I could just do like maybe black foil, kind of cloudy white, and then like a mica drop in there. Maybe with some like holographic glitter or something. That could be kind of fun. Just make something. Just make something. Also purple foil. I got multicolored foils recently. What color did I need? Black foil with emerald green. Ooh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Should I do emerald green foil? I have this mica. Oh, actually, I have one more thing up here. All right, this might be loud. Just a second. So here's all of my paint chips. So all of my different colors available. Ooh, I do also like this one. This one always looks kind of almost black on camera, but it's like a really dark bluish green. I don't know if I can get it to show. It's like a really dark bluish green. That could be pretty. It might be too dark though. That one might be too dark. I mean, I could do Emerald City. One short day in the Emerald City. That could be fun. That could be fun. Let's grab some of that maybe. Should I still do some of the black foil in there? That might be kind of nice. I do like, where is that? I'm trying to find the correct, where's my chip for this green? Oh, that's this one. All right. That seems like a fun plan. That does kind of tie into something I wanted to talk about, because I had an idea and I wanted to get opinions on it. Let's do Emerald City. Yeah, Emerald City seems nice. Like the Comic-Con. No, yeah, I think that those will be pretty together. I think it'll be good with the black in there too. That's what I was going to say though. I have kind of an idea. So I think let's just go. I think I want to grab my my florals that I took upstairs if I'm going to do Glinda inspired ones. But what I was going to say. So I was thinking of making a Patreon. And I've been working through like what the rewards and stuff would be. I think the avocado might be best actually. And one of the things I was thinking of was like voting on dice for like the next month. But I was thinking about it, and I like making dice that are inspired by things. Like I like making dice that are kind of based on a character or you know, space or the ocean. You know, that have like something that I'm basing it on. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, it might be fun if I did like a different theme each month. So I've been working on a set of dice at the moment. If you follow my Tumblr that I have all my dice on, you will know about this. But and actually I posted about it on social media today. But I've been working on like a series of dice that are all based around a YouTube series at the moment, just because it's fun. Like there's like 12 different characters in it, and each one has very strong aesthetics. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a set of dice for each character. And maybe there's 13, but you know, it's fun, like kind of taking that and then basing things on it. And all of the dice are ending up completely different. The coral reef dice are from that. I just pulled these out yesterday. I'll show you here. Just pulled these out yesterday. A bunch of red foil and like dark silver colors. And so I was thinking, like I was saying, it could be fun to do a different theme each month. And actually, let me add Wizard of Oz. Let me add Wizard of Oz to my list here. And then, but I was also thinking of starting a. They look like lava monster. They're very like glittery red. Yeah, I wanted some kind of like fire in there. So many things you want to buy. But the way that ties into the Patreon I was thinking I could set it up so that there's like a poll with like, you know, 4 different options, 5 different options of what should the theme for the next month be. I was like, that could be kind of fun. I think it could be kind of fun to like do like have a different theme each month. And it could be a piece of media. It could be like famous paintings. That could be a theme. Wizard of Oz could be a theme. You know, there's all sorts of things like that. And of course I would put things on the list that I'd actually want to do. We could literally just have the color blue as a theme. Everything that I make that month is blue. But I wanted to get sorry, this is kind of loud. I wanted to get an opinion on whether people thought that would actually be fun or not. I kind of think it might be fun to do that, where it's just like a different theme. And then also then people would get to like vote on it, which I thought was kind of a fun idea. I think this one. Let's find, where's avocado? It's an avocado. Thanks. Avocado. There it is. So we'll do these. And I wanted a little bit of kind of like that lighter green in there. I think that's kind of fun. Should I have the holographic? Yeah, I might as well have the holographic. I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe let's do like half with the half of the resin with the foil. Oh, wait. Maybe half with the two greens and then half this color with the black and the holographic, and then with like a swirl of the mica going through it. It's gonna be very green. This set's just gonna be very green. But yeah, I think let's try that. Let me grab molds. I think I want it with the highest face on the bottom. But it'd be stuff like, you know, the ones I showed you too, where it's like they're generic enough. They're based on like a character or whatever, but they're generic enough that anybody could, you know, use them for a different character. There's my other D10. 6 and D4 and D2. There's D2. Cool. So got that figured out. The last thing that I want to do actually is I think I want to make just some blank black phone grips because I'm going to use them as kind of like a base to then paint on. So I think that could be cool. I could do some like Starry Night type things or other little paintings on them. So let's do that. And I'm already going to be doing some opaque black, so that works out. Add some deep purple. Yeah, see that would probably look better. I worry though that I'm going to get the purple. One short day in the Emerald City. I'm trying to think of how to make it so that the purple doesn't mix with the green, because that'll make brown. But I could do dice that are half like emerald green, and then I could let them cure, and then I could do the other half in like deep purples. Although actually I have a set that I'm in the middle of sanding that are kind of half green, half purple. Yeah, I have a set that I'm in the middle of sanding right now. They're gonna go into the polishing tumblers soon. That are like a really dark, rich purple and a really like dark green, and then they have iridescent flakes in them and stuff, and some multichrome. They're really pretty. I really like how they turned out. Yeah, I feel like maybe it could use another color, but again, I worry that... Yeah, I have purple mica powder. I have a couple different purple mica powders. You thinking of maybe trying to give it like a purple shimmer? So maybe it's like green and then it has a little bit of a purple shimmer. Alternatively... Actually, wait. I think I have something that will work for that. I have interference violet, so it actually looks white, and then when the light hits it correctly, it is purple, which is very hard to show on camera. It's very hard to show it being purple on camera. Let's see if I can get it to... Yeah, it doesn't really want to show on camera because it's always at like the angle that the light is at. But it's white, and then it's shimmery purple. So maybe we could use that. That might be pretty going through instead of this dark green mica. let's maybe try that instead. It's right here. Actually, let's see if I can show you the, so white, you can kind of see the purple a little bit for a second there maybe, with a darker background. If the black would be cool if the black had a Cthulhu Eldritch purple green. Yeah, I know, I'm just saying that I have a set of dice that I'm polishing right now that are already the purple green. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that. Let's not do that. And I like purple and green together. Like, they're a pretty combo. It's just like I just did them recently, though. Yellow shimmer, you think? We could do a gold shimmer, or we could do, I think that shimmer. This one is kind of a yellow to green sort of shimmer. So I have, that's the purple. Could do interference gold, or a gold shimmer. All right, let's just do that. It's fine. They can be super green. It's fine if they're super green. You know, I feel like we can always do something contrasting with the numbers as well. It's kind of funny how much the number color can affect how a set of dice look. Like, it can really affect a set of dice. Okay, let's start getting everything laid out. Let me set some things off to the side here. So actually, I think the first thing that I want to do is I want to put together, set these over here. Things are rolling away. Let's set those up right so that they don't roll away. So the first thing I want to do actually is put together our little coral reefs in our little bottles. And for that, I need some UV resin. So what I'm going to do is just kind of stick things down with a little bit of UV resin. And then we'll pour in a little bit of 2-part resin, probably a little bit of shimmer. And that'll definitely cement things in place. And kind of make it look like it's underwater a little bit. Just kind of what I'm going for. Little deep sea coral reefs. This is just a little UV lamp. Little UV lamp. And then let's start getting things figured out. So I think maybe first off, got 3 that I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3. And let's figure out what pieces we've got here that we can put in there. I mean, I've got some little tiny rocks that are kind of the same color. Let's grab at least one of those for each of these. Some sort of substantial size. And then we're going to want, like, this isn't going to fit in there, so I can't use this. This is just a little bit too big. So I need to find pieces that will actually fit in these bottles. Like this one will fit in the bottle. And they might not all be the same. Some of them are going to have like tube coral, some of them are going to have kind of like a branching coral, some are going to have little brain corals. And some of them are going to have fan corals. They're all going to be different. That's the goal here. I think I want kind of like 2, like more kind of more tallish ones. And then I don't know, I'm trying to get kind of a mix here. One short day in the Emerald City. Alright, there's that, there's that. Here's that, grab one of those. And I also have some little tiny plants in here that I'll probably try to add a couple of as well. There's some little like sea grasses and like kelp. But let's go ahead and start trying to get things stuck in. I'm just gonna add a little bit. This is kind of old UV resin, so it's a little bit goopier than it used to be. Not quite as liquidy as it used to be, but that is fine for what we're doing. I think I'm gonna start out with our little, should I start with our little rocks? And I think I'm gonna start with our biggest pieces first. I'm just gonna try and kind of stick them in. Just stick them in. Don't know why I said that, like I did. I'm gonna try and get that to stick to the bottom as much as we can. Oopsies. That didn't work out well. No, not to the side, to the bottom. I have made mistakes. Just a second here. Let's try that again. I'm wondering, would it be easier for me to put a little bit of UV resin in the bottom of this to then stick that into? Maybe. It may be so. Maybe so. So let's try that. I take a little dollop of the resin and put it in here. Okay. Try not to get it everywhere. Let's try this again and see if I can get the little piece of coral to stick in there. There we go, that's looking a little bit better. I can actually take my tweezers out. Oh, this is part of the reason that making the set of dice took a while. It's because this is kind of how I did it. Just one piece at a time, sticking it on with a little bit of UV resin, letting it cure a little bit, sticking another piece on with a little bit of UV resin, UV resin, letting it cure a little bit. So we're gonna let that go. While that is curing, what is in here? All right, that's stuff for that commission. Oh, let's add our next one. I think maybe, will this even fit in here anymore? I probably should put some of the shorter pieces in first so that I can actually get to things. That might work out better. Actually, to be fair, I can add some of these rocks in after the fact, I think. I'm trying to find things that'll fit though. Okay, let's try this piece. I had like kind of a round brain coral type one, and it was just a little bit too big. Oh no, I've lost a piece. One of the little arms fell off. That's okay. It wasn't on there very well. I guess I could UV resin it back on, but that's fine. I'll use it in something else later. This one should fit in here though. Man, this is a pain. This is why I did little, I made little like half blanks for the dice. It's because I didn't want to have to go in the tops, like half fill the dice and then go in through the tops to add all the pieces. I wanted to be able to do it out in the open, because this is a pain. Well, let's see if I can add this last one too. Why do I have a struggle for the craft? It's true. We are the champions, my friend. I don't know why I have "We Are the Champions" stuck in my head at the moment, but I do. trying to get things upright. Sorry, I'm concentrating as I try to get things to stick where I want them to stick. We're just gonna go with it as it is. I think I might try and add a little bit of the kind of rocks around it, and that'll help kind of make things look a little bit better, maybe. I'm gonna add a little bit of grass here too. Little sea grasses. And then here, I can show you what I've got so far though. I'll show you what I've got so far. I also brought over some little metallic beads because I was using some of the like silver. Did I use any of the gold? But anyways, I used some of the silver ones in the dice part. Let's try adding some little seagrass in here. See how that goes. We'll just absolutely dunk that in UV resin. That works out. Actually, that worked out better than I expected it to. And let's see if I can kind of show you what's going on in here so far. Got little bits of like different corals in there. Little corals. And I got a couple other little pieces to add, and then I think I'll try to add some like rocks kind of around the outside a little bit. Make things blend in. Not blend in, but look like they're attached and not just sitting on top. Because that is an issue. I don't want things to look like they're just sitting on top of whatever this blue base is. I want them to look like they're attached into this strange blue rock. It'll make it look better in the end. No better rose, no pleasure cruise. But yeah, I got these little tiny bottles, and they're really cute, and I'm debating what all I want to make with them. Obviously, I think I want to do jewelry. I'm thinking like some earrings and stuff, because they're small. They'd work as earrings, I think. I have a few ideas, I suppose. Thinking of doing like, let's add that last actually. I was thinking of doing some like kind of like curio type jewelry. That sounds strange, but like, you know, little jars of like specimens. They'd be you know, a bit of work to make. No, I don't want you sticking to the side. I want you down in there. You're just gonna be a mess. I might have to do a little bit of cleanup on this one. Luckily, I think I can get the UV resin off of the walls of this, and it's not a huge deal since we're gonna be putting resin in here anyways, but it still doesn't look the best. Let's see if I can get things down where I want them to be. There we go. That's a better spot. And then we're going to add some little tiny rocks. And the little tiny rocks, I probably don't even need to UV resin them in there. Because they'll be held by the two-part resin that we're going to add. But let me get them at least kind of in the right spots. At least the sort of right areas. And then I can show you kind of what they're going to look like when they're done. These take a while to make. Oh. I'm really happy with how the dice turned out, though. They turned out good, I think. I like doing the like polymer clay type, little tiny polymer clay things to put in dice. Like, it's fun. It takes a lot of time, though. That's the real struggle. Is it takes time to make all of the stuff to then put in the dice. Why am I covering this in goop? I don't need it covered in goop. I just said that I don't need it covered in goop, and yet I'm covering it in goop. Why am I covering it in goop? Well, that's fine. Let's just get it down where it needs to go. It can be covered in goop if it wants to be covered in goop. Let me get the goop off of my tweezers so we can get the other ones where we want them. I think it'll be easier to move things around actually if they're not sticky. There we go, got that kind of under there. I'm dropping my little tiny rocks. And then actually I want to add maybe the little tiny silver spheres because I feel like they look fun. They look nice. I might want to goop this one. Might not be necessary. Might not be necessary actually. Let me add a couple little tiny spheres maybe. You're sticking. Stop sticking. It seems to think it is gooped. Stop that. All right. Yep, I could use maybe even a slightly larger one, and then I will show you what this looks. Don't run away from me. You can run, little bead, but you can't hide. All right, and then it'll look like this. Wow, the lighting really does not lend itself well. Sorry, you guys are going on a little trip. Let's see if I can make it so you can see a little bit better. Oh, this is a weird angle, isn't it? Just a second. See if I can make it so you can... There we go. There we go. Little tiny coral reefs, and see, I got some resin on the actual glass part, but that should be okay. It shouldn't show up too much once I get the resin in there. There's that one, and we're gonna do that for 2 more now. Ooh, sorry, you're going back up here. You're in my way. We're done with our field trip now. All right. Let me try and do that for 2 more of these. See how it goes. But yeah, so going back to an earlier topic, I'm thinking of doing like a different theme each month, because I think that might be kind of fun. But I would love feedback. I would love to know if people think that that's a good idea, a bad idea. Like, I feel like it could be fun because then people who like those things might be like, oh, that's cool. But I don't want to, like, turn off people who aren't interested in the theme of the month. They're just like, oh, I've never watched this show or whatever. But again, I want to make things that are kind of generic enough that even if you haven't watched the show or listened to this song or whatever that it's based on, it's still, could still be used for something else. Really, I just want, I was thinking of using something for inspiration more than anything. Not necessarily like making something obviously for specific characters. Those are the kind of things I like to do anyways. Like, I really enjoy basing dice off of something, but then, like, not making them super specific to that thing. Like I did a set of commission dice fairly recently for a based on a Pokemon. I think I'll probably show these off now. Let me see if I can find it. But I did a set based on a Pokemon, and if you didn't know that, you wouldn't think anything of it. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think it was based on a Pokemon. Let me see if I can find a picture of those. Oh, come on. Was it further back than I thought it was? Yeah, like these are also dice from that web series I said I was making. Oh, really? Does not want to focus. See, these are also dice from that web series that I said I was making dice for all of the characters. So, like, this is kind of what I mean. Like, they're based around specific characters, but they aren't just for those specific characters. They could be used for all sorts of different things. Where is that set of commission dice, though? I guess it was a little whiles ago. You're buying them all. Do I have a good? I don't have a good photo of them, do I? I guess I have like a close up. They had like purple with red in them. But anyways, like they weren't like overtly Pokemon themed, but it was just like, hey, here's a Pokemon. Here's kind of its colors and its type and stuff. And let's, like, you know, let's make something kind of based around that. Pokemon's also on my list of things that's just like, oh, that could be fun as a theme. I'm slowly adding ideas to my themes list. So I think maybe I might do that. I think that might be what I start going towards, because I like having something to base things off of. It just works well for me. Let's do that before it tries to move. Also, I'm realizing I have a little plant here that I forgot to add. Do I want to add that to that first one? Maybe not. Yeah, get off my finger. There we go. Yeah, I need to actually set things up. That's where I'm at the moment, is trying to figure out what direction I want to go in. I was talking to my brother earlier today. He was lost. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you can keep using me as a sounding board. But because I was, oh, okay, have some good food. I was like, okay, I was thinking of making like tutorial videos, or something along that vein. Would it be better for me to make tutorial videos and put them on Patreon, or to make tutorial videos and put them on YouTube? Because I kind of have two different functions, was my thought. Like, YouTube would be more about getting people to find my stuff, and Patreon would be more about the people who've already found my stuff and enjoy it. So it's like both of these would have merit, but they serve two different functions. But which would it be better for me to put stuff on? So I'm trying, there's so many different directions that I could go. I just don't know which direction I want to go at the moment. That's the hard part. Figuring out which direction I want to go. Or should I go find myself a part-time job and cut back on the dice stuff? That is also an option. Don't particularly want to necessarily, but I need another source of income. Alright, let's get that going. So that's all the stuff that's going on with me. What's going on with you? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm to the point where a Patreon would make sense. I guess that's what I'm kind of trying to like decide for myself is, am I even to the point where a Patreon would be beneficial to me? Because obviously there's people that have been, you know, there to continually support what I've been making. Some of y'all. But should I be more focused on getting people to find my stuff at the moment, or in making more stuff for the people who have already found my stuff? That's what it is. That's the dilemma. That's my dilemma right there. Which should I focus more on? That's there's the big question. Cool. I've at least figured out what my question is now. Is should I focus more on getting more people finding my stuff, or on making stuff for the people who have already found my stuff? Which is going to be more beneficial in the long run, the grand scheme of things. There's your little peek behind the curtain for today. Although the curtain's like rarely closed, I suppose. It's not like I do things super secretively. I try not to. I also, to be fair, I feel weird talking about that sort of stuff, because it's just like, increase your audience. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Like, in which case it'd probably be more beneficial to me to start trying to make like tutorial videos and put them on YouTube, because that would increase my audience more probably. Yeah, so that's what I need to figure out what I want to do that too. So I do appreciate the input though, because I'm like, I don't know. It's not decided 100%, but no roses. Because obviously just doing, that's the thing, I feel like doing the same thing, also content for Patreon, do both. To be fair, that is something I kind of thought about with doing like a different theme each. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying though, like, yeah, I guess I'd need to figure out what exactly I wanted to make, and for, yeah, see, that's the thing, like, I am crap at editing videos. That's really what it comes down to, is I'm not good at editing. I want to get better at editing, which I guess I could do by just doing it, but man, it takes me so long to edit things, and then it's just like not super exciting. So it's just like, I don't know if I want to try and do YouTube stuff. That's really the reason I haven't done YouTube stuff, is because I know that I'm not good at editing. I don't know why I'm trying to glue this in place again. I'm doing the same thing I did before with the rocks. Alright. But yeah, so, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say exactly. So if, what do you think would be good for increasing my audience? So that was actually one of my thoughts, I must admit, with the doing the themes. Like, I do actually think probably more than I should about little things that I think could work well for marketing. I always feel kind of like scammy when I do it. Like, even if it's like little things, like just thinking about when I take photos of my dice, I usually put the highest faces up, because I feel like that's gonna make people think higher of them. Like little things like that I do actually think about, and every time I think about them, I'm just like, is this manipulative? This feels manipulative. I don't like this. But at the same time, I want to present what I'm making as good as I can. Let's add some of our little silver beads. Silver beads. Oops, I've got 2 in there. That's fine. We'll add 2 silver beads. So I guess the best question now is, what's the best way to increase my audience? Oh, I was going to say, though, that was actually one of my thoughts with doing a theme each month, though, too, is that if I do, like, things themed around pieces of media, so TV shows, games, that sort of thing, people who are interested in those things might also be interested in my dice. That's looking pretty good. I like that so far, and then we'll add a few more of the little rocks, and then that one will be set to go. So it's like that might be good. I don't know. I'm stuck in my normal indecision area where I don't know what direction to go, so I'm just not going any direction. I need to figure. I just need to decide. I can't decide whether you should live or die. Oh, okay. Well, I've got a little bit of seagrass here. We're gonna add that too. A little bit of seagrass. I like the little bit of green. It kind of pops a little bit with the pink. Theme content will pull less people than if you had someone coming to learn something. Yeah. Yeah, because it would pull specific people. But I do think that it would, over time, have a wider audience because it would have the people from those different subsections that might be interested. That's my thought process there. I'm trying to get this to, what direction is up on this seagrass? There we go. I think we're going that direction. Where do I want to put this, though? Just a second. I'm trying to get this seagrass in here. Sticking to my tweezers more than anything. Put that in there, maybe. Put it kind of in the middle. To have the takeaway of self-improvement than just choosing, then what? You have to do it right to include theme choice. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say with that. Alright, we'll do that, and then let's add a few more little tiny rocks in here. A few more little tiny rocks around the sides. This one can go here, I think. And one more little tiny rock, and I think we'll call it good. And I'll show you what we've got going here. All right, got another one, another little tiny bottle. Another little tiny bottle. Kind of hard to see on there, but that's people who are coming for tutorials or trying to learn, and they get self-improvement of their craft or learn something new. Where just choosing a theme is trivial and should be on top of other content as a bonus. Yeah, I was I was talking about having it be kind of like a bonus thing. I'm what I'm really trying to, I'm just saying that it'd be fun to do like a different theme each month for my shop. Not that that's my marketing strategy. I'm really just trying to decide whether I want to go the route of like YouTube or if I want to go the route of Patreon, because I don't know that I will have I don't know if I have the time for both, because I'm not fast at editing. I'm not good at editing things. So if I was going to make videos, I don't know that I'd have time to make them for both Patreon and YouTube. And so I'm trying to just decide which one I want to do, because Patreon would be better, you know, is more focused on the people that have already found me, and YouTube is more focused on would be more focused on getting people to find me. So I'm just trying to decide kind of which direction I want to go. That's really what it is. The theme thing was that's not my marketing strategy. I'm just wondering whether people think it would be fun if I did that or not, or if it would turn people off to the dice because, you know, they aren't in the know or whatever. That would just be like, if I did do Patreon, I'd probably set up a poll so that people could like help choose the theme for the month. I just think that that'd be fun to do. Alright, let's get that in there. It'd be fun? Okay, yeah. I'm just wondering whether like, whether it'd be like fun to do a theme, like have a theme of the month type thing or not. But that was kind of a separate thing, I guess, to the should I do Patreon or YouTube if I want to make extra content, which would be better for me. And that's where I'm kind of trying to figure out, because I don't know that I have enough people that are kind of following what I do for Patreon to be beneficial. Will this fit in here? Oh, it will. Excellent. That's very thick UV resin. Okay. Oh no! I dropped it. Well, that's UV resin on my hands. That's fine. I need to actually get it in there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we'll get those done, and then I think we can get all of our different pigments and everything mixed up, and we can get that going as well. How much pigment do I need of that black? Probably a bit. I don't want to take too long. I don't know. I guess I'm not in a rush or anything. But I don't want to take too long this stream because I think I need to help my brother move some furniture around after I'm done. So of course I decided to do very intricate work because, you know, that's quick. Let's add the last little piece of coral. I think I just need to sit down and figure out like what all of my options are. I think that's where I'm stuck. I tend to get stuck on things just because it feels like there's a lot more things, there's a lot more steps or options than there actually are. And so then I just get, yeah. And then I just get stuck. That's why that's why I have a physical to-do list here, is because if I don't write it down, I won't do it, because I get overwhelmed really easy. So I think I just need to write down all my options and figure out which direction I want to go. So there's a little plant. If we add the little plant next, let's add the little plant next. We'll do that. Maybe I'll add the little plant next if I can get it to go into the resin. Okay. This is going to be fun. My tweezers are so sticky. It's sticking to the tweezers and not to the stuff in here like I would like it to. Oh wait, I think I got it. Almost. There we go. I think I got it. Let's nuke that thing and let it go. So if anyone has just joined, I am making some little tiny hi Mountain Tree, how you doing? I was just about to show off what I was doing. I'm making some little tiny coral reefs in a bottle. It does not like to find it. Little tiny coral reefs in a bottle. I made all of some little bits of coral out of polymer clay. I have a set of dice that are polishing at the moment that also have little tiny coral reefs in them. But I'm making 3, and we'll see how they turn out. So I'm adding all of the little tiny bits of coral and everything at the moment. What are you up to? Anything fun? I'm also bemoaning the fact that I can't pick things in life. Paralysis by analysis, or whatever it's called. That's really what you walked in on. Let's be real here. I'm trying to decide where I want to go next. What do you use to polish my dice? Is it an automatic machine? I sand things by hand, and then I throw them into a tumbler with some hardwood media and some plastic polish, and I leave them there for about 2 weeks, and they get nice and shiny. So it takes a little bit of time there, but yep, that's really the reason that my commissions take so long, is because of the polishing time. But I'm not good at hand polishing, so they look so much better when I use that. I get that little sphere in there, and it does not want to. Some people are really good at polishing things by hand, in which case it can be a lot quicker. But the way that I do it, it takes a while. Yeah, there's a lot of time that goes, like a surprising amount of time, both like active and not active. Because, like, you know, there's time where I have it sitting in the tumbler polishing. I'm not like actively working on it. I come down and like check on them and add more polish and stuff daily, but you know, I'm not sitting around while they're polishing. But, and you know, there's 24 hours where I have to let things cure, so you know, it's sitting in the pressure pot while I'm doing other things while it's curing. But like, there's a lot of time that ends up going into the dice, both active time and not active time. Let's add some little. No, they still say pretty sharp edged. I have a set. Let me see what I have in the tumbler right now. I might have something we can pull out and use as an example. Should have something over here. Oh yeah, here. Let's grab this. actually be completely polished. I need to wipe them down and see. But here's D6. So yeah, see the edges. They maybe get like a little bit softer, but they're still pretty sharp. Still pretty sharp edges. So this is one that's been in there for probably almost the 2 weeks now. This one might actually be done. The rest in this set were done. Yeah, I think this one can get pulled out. Here's a D12 as an example. So yeah, maybe they maybe round out a little bit, but they're still fairly sharp edged. Yeah, I've been much happier since I got that, since I'm not good at hand polishing. I feel like the quality of my dice have gone up a lot since then, just because they're so much better. They just look better because they're more polished. Okay, come on. I'm trying to get. Well, we'll just throw a rock down there. It's fine. And some little tiny silver beads in here. I probably should have just not even worried about using some of the. I can't even get to this. This is the problem. They're kind of floating a bit. I'm gonna add some little fake rocks, and hopefully that'll help cover up where those are kind of floating a little bit. Oh, just let that go. Yeah, so I have 3 tumblers. I need to get probably some more hardwood media for those, actually. I'm kind of wondering if I can wash the hardwood media that I've already used, because it gets kind of caked with the plastic polish and stuff after a while, and so it just gets kind of gross. It gets caked with all of the plastic polish and some of the dust from where the numbers were sanded and things. So I wonder if I could wash it. Go put it in a sieve or something and try and get all the junk out and just leave the hardwood media. I don't know if I could or not. It's little cubes, little hardwood cubes. It's kind of expensive, but it works really well. I could show you. It's little cubes. Just little tiny cubes of wood. So it's probably, I don't know what wood exactly it is. I just know that it's some sort of hardwood medium. Oh, why am I sticking this in the goop? I don't need this in the goop. I don't need this in the UV resin. Why am I doing that again? Get off of my thing. Okay, that's fine. Let's see here. Let's grab another couple little tiny pieces and throw them in there. And then I'll show you what this one's looking like. I need a couple more pieces. Such a tiny little area that I'm trying to fit things into. pain. It's pain to get things to sit where I want them to. Remind me again why I work at such a small scale. Why am I not doing large things? Oops, where did that go? Oh well, it landed somewhere fine, so we'll leave it there. I feel like there is a certain kind of difficulty that comes with making things that are very, very large, and then there's like a different kind of difficulty that comes with making things that are very, very small. Like, if something is really big, you know, it requires a lot of material and to be able to move that material around into the correct locations. But if something is really, really small, any like slight error or something is a lot more noticeable. Like, you notice the details a lot more. That's the thing with dice, I feel like. Part of the reason that, you know, dice take so much time and stuff is because just a little tiny, you know, if you say something is a millimeter off, if it's 2 meters big and it's a millimeter off, that's negligible, depending on what it is. If it's a machine part, maybe not. Yeah. You worked on a 7-meter long whale lantern made of paper mache and willow. It was so much work. I bet. That sounds like a lot of work. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you get into a really large scale and things are a lot of work because there's just so much to do. There's so much material that you have to get into the right spot. But if you're working really, really small, things get difficult because you have to get things accurate. So if your whale was 0.5 millimeter too long or too short, it wouldn't have been noticeable, probably, unless that means that something didn't connect right. But you know, if it ended up being 7 meters long and 0.5 millimeter, no one would notice. If I had like a face of a die that was 0.5 millimeter off, that would be more noticeable. So there's a certain amount of accuracy, which I don't know why I started doing dice. I'm not a details person. I'm more of a big picture person than a details person. I will show you. So let me put this stuff away. I'll show you what else we're making tonight. I'll go back over that again. So I think we've got all of our UV resin done. Get this up and away. It's one of the things. To be fair, I didn't know what all I wanted to make exactly, except for the Geode dice, and that's why it mentions the Geode dice in the title. So I made some little tiny blanks a couple days ago. So they're blanks. They don't have, you know, numbers or anything on them. They fit inside of my molds. And this of them with some multichrome flakes. Added a bunch of stuff on the inside. There you go. Added a bunch of stuff on the inside. And so my plan is to put a little bit of like black resin into the bottom of the mold, and then put these in, and then put clear on top. I'm kind of stealing the idea from a friend who said that go for it. That because she did something similar where she made like a sphere of resin and put it in that had all that stuff on one side. We're gonna try it out. I've been wanting to try making Geode dice. I've tried making Geode dice a couple of times to varied success. But I'm kind of excited to see how this turns out. Just like extra resin up here. All right. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. I hope they turn out. I might have added too much stuff in them. That's my concern, is that I've added too much various like glitter, too many glitters and things in here. I guess we'll see. I added a lot of different foils and iridescent flakes and that sort of stuff. But I think we're to the point now, oh, my nose itches. I think we're to the point now where we can start putting things into little mixing cups to pour. So I have a few just random little things that I need to do as well. I have a blank D6 that I need to do kind of dirt colored. So we're going to do that. I also have a D4 mold here because I'm going to do just a little drop in the bottom of the D4 because we're going to put like a little flower on top of it. This is stuff for a commission set that I'm working on. So I don't think we need very much necessarily. We're just doing a D6 on the base of a D4. This is I'm using definitely interesting things for this this mixture. This is kind of how I do dirt. This is cinnamon. This is cinnamon that I'm adding right now. It smells really good. This is coffee grounds. Add a little bit of coffee grounds. Adds kind of some texture there, which I like. The coffee grounds is what I use for dirt quite often, to be honest. If I want to do like, yeah, just some kind of dirt, I'll use the coffee grounds. And then this is, what is this one? I can't remember what this one is. It is also a spice. I can't think of what it is called. I can't think of what it's called now. I'm blanking. Oh, you know, I have it. I have some in my... I have it in my, nutmeg? I don't think so. What is this spice? I have it in here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Cumin! It's cumin! And it does kind of a, it has kind of a texture to it, which I like. Let me see if I can get it so you can see the texture. There you go. See, it has kind of a texture to it that I think works well for kind of an earthy tone as well. So we're adding a little bit of that for a little bit of texture as well. That's what the coffee grounds and the cumin are for. Is for the texture. And then the cinnamon makes a really like dark brown color. So mixing all those together will hopefully make kind of a more opaque, earthy sort of thing. That's really why I add the cinnamon, is so that it's not super translucent. The dark brown helps kind of fill it in a little bit more. If I just added these two, there'd be a lot of kind of space in between them, and so you'd see a lot more light through it. So I add a little bit of cinnamon to kind of help with that. Set those off to the side. These two, this is a blank D8 and a D2, are going to have some green resin. Do I have a mixing cup? This looks like it had green in it before. Alright, so this one's just going to have green in it. Actually, this might have been the one that I just did green in. This is also for the same mission. We're not going to add our liquid pigments yet, just because I don't want them to like dry out or something while I'm getting everything set up. For our Geode dice, I want to do an opaque black in the bottom as kind of a background for all of the stuff in it, and then we're going to do clear. The clear, obviously, I don't need a mixing cup for. We're just going to do from the mixing cup that I mix all of the resin up in. But the opaque black, I have here. And the reason I grabbed a larger mixing cup here, even though it shouldn't take a lot for these, is that I also want to do some blank phone grips. Because I'm going to do some blanks and then I'll paint them and then do a clear layer of resin on top. So I'm going to use whatever kind of leftover resin I have and put them in here. And we'll leave that over here next to our black. The last set of dice, I didn't know what I wanted to make, so I took audience suggestions. So we're gonna try making a set of Emerald City dice. So I've got a bunch of green colors and stuff, and we're going green. We're going green. I've got a black foil, a green foil, green glitter, like a green shimmer here, green ink, and then holographic glitter. And I don't know if I want the holographic glitter. Do I want the holographic glitter? Should I just go more for the green? Is it too much, you think, with holographic glitter? And then this is kind of like a yellowish shimmer. I don't know if I don't know if I'll get this to be able to show. No, you just get glare. It's kind of a yellow in the light. What is it technically? Green yellow. It's supposed to be kind of between green and yellow. So I think I'm going to do kind of two different colors, maybe three here. I think I want to do these together, so the green foil and the green glitter. And then I think I want to do our translucent green and our black together, maybe. I was debating also adding the holographic glitter, but maybe I should add the yellowish shimmer to the black and the green instead. And then just leave this like green. Maybe. We're making this one up as we go along. And I was just talking about how I can't make decisions. I was thinking maybe also we could do kind of like a mica drop in there. That's something that I've really enjoyed doing recently. Here's an example. Where you kind of oversaturate the resin with mica, or a little bit of resin with mica, and then you put it in the top of the mold, and it kind of sinks down in there in like shimmering tendrils. And this is kind of what you end up with. Kind of like these like globs of shimmering resin, like tendrils of it. So I was thinking maybe if kind of trying to do that through this, that might be kind of fun. Yeah, I really like how it looks. I've been having fun doing that recently. So maybe we will do that. So in which case I will need 3 mixing cups. So I think this one actually had the same green in it. So this one will do a little bit of this. Oh, you know, we could. Well, I'm gonna add this either way. We could do this green and yellow shimmer. We could do this the same way as this, and also have it going through. I could either make the resin that, like maybe the green resin or the stuff with the green flakes in it. We could make one of those be kind of yellow shimmery with this pigment. Or I could do kind of this thing where it kind of sinks down in there with that pigment. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do both the dark green and the kind of like yellow shimmer that way? Or we could do the yellow shimmer with one of these. I think maybe. I don't think I want the holographic glitter. Or would that match well with the black? Should I do the holographic glitter because we go with the black? That's this is the real question here. So we'll have our green. I almost worry that it'll, I don't know, this might be good. Yeah, let's just do, this is gonna be this green color with some black foil and the yellow. We're just gonna do that. I'm just gonna make a decision. Even though it pains me to do so. So we're gonna do some black foil. Whoa. I probably don't actually need a ton. We're gonna do about 15 milliliters here. Let me think about this. Yeah, I probably don't need quite this much black foil. I don't want it to be, you know, overwhelmingly black foil. I just want some specks of it. Let me get this lid on before I breathe on it. Okay, there we go. And then we'll add a little bit of this kind of shimmering yellow green as well, because I think that will match well with the other stuff. Okay. We're just kind of mixing things together in this set. We're going to see how it goes. This is kind of an experimental set where we're just mixing a whole bunch of green things together and seeing what happens. So I don't actually want a lot of this, I just want a little bit, because I just kind of want a little bit of a shimmer to this resin. Alright. I don't want it like completely this color. I do want to be able to see this green. I don't want it opaque. Alright, and that's going to be with this green pigment. Put this back away in here. We've got our mica for the kind of mica drop swirl, and then I'm going to set up a thing here. Let's add some of our green flaky flakes and glitter. And that'll be kind of the other half. Alright. Alright. Trying to get a mixing cup for it. Got little flakes of resin all over the place. Okay. So let's do some nice bright emerald green. And again, I don't want too much because I want to be able to see the other stuff that's in this dye. We're going to have about 15 milliliters of this resin too. It's about 30 milliliters for a full set of dyes, at least for my molds. And so it's going to be about 15 of each. Obviously, a little bit of that's going to be our kind of mica saturated stuff, but it really does not take a lot of resin for that. So it's going to be roughly 15 of each of these, of the one with the black and then the green. So I'm trying to keep that in mind while I add some flakes here, some foil flakes, so that I don't add too much or too little. Just have an idea of how much resin this is going to be going into. Kind of helps a little bit. And then we've got some green glitter here. So this, we'll see how this set goes. Adding glitter can be interesting. So depending on the glitter, this glitter is fine enough, I think it'll be fine. But if you have like bigger glitter, stuff like more craft glitter type glitter, it tries to sink in my resin. So it will all end up at the bottom of the mold. Unless I wait until the resin's pretty thick to pour it. If I pour it when it's really thick, it's more prone to getting like bubbles and stuff, but it's less likely for the stuff to sink, the glitter to sink in it. But since we want to do the mica drop, I want to add that while the resin's still runny enough for that to actually sink through. So trying to balance something with like big flakes of glitter versus trying to get the mica to actually sink into it can be kind of difficult. All right, I think we have, is that everything? Yeah, I think that is actually everything. Okay, cool. So let me get a mixing cup here. Get this ready to go. Again, I'm bad at actually preparing and cleaning things before I stream, so I need to clean out my mixing cup. This one, I'm just going to get some of these bigger pieces of resin out, and then we will flip it inside out and take some tape to it. There's kind of like big spots of cured resin. Got a bit of resin here. Ooh. All right, let's just turn this inside out and take some tape to it. Ooh, it's sticking to my fingers. It's kind of like staticking to my fingers. All right, cool. Cool. There we go. All right, let me get some tape here. I'm gonna move my planner over. My planner's on top of my tape. Okay. Get this going. So has anybody been up to any fun arts and crafts projects lately? I've been making dice, obviously. I've been making, I don't know how many people watch Minecraft stuff on YouTube, but I've been making Empire's SMP dice for fun, just because it's fun. I've actually been playing Minecraft too. I need to schedule some things with some folks so that we can play some different multiplayer games on Saturday's stream. That'd be fun. Oh, I will actually be streaming at noon on Saturday, by the way. I was originally going to be streaming at 9 again, because, like, you know, I was going to have lunch with friends as I normally do, but COVID cases are really high at the moment, so I was like, no, we're not gonna meet up. So I'm actually gonna be streaming at noon. I have to decide what I want to stream. I could do resin stuff if I wanted to, since I have time. But also, you know, there is the call of Minecraft or other video games with friends. That's something I asked in the Discord recently was, hey, what game should I play on stream? I should actually go and get some of those so we could try some. I am very bad at video games. Like, I really don't play a lot of video games. Minecraft is probably one of the first ones that I've actually been, like, into as an adult. I like watching other people play video games. I guess I always have to a certain extent. I grew up with my parents playing MMOs. Like, I remember my parents playing EverQuest as when I was a small child, and then WoW. They'd play MMOs together, which is kind of fun. So like I definitely grew up with kind of a gamer family, I guess. I never really got into it though. You're old enough to be my parent because of EverQuest. How old was I? What year did EverQuest come out? I wasn't like super young because I also played it. Like, my parents let me make like a character on their account, and even my younger brother also made a character on like my dad's account. 2000, 2005. Okay, so I was a kid. I was in elementary school probably. Wait. Yeah, or elementary, middle school. No, elementary school. Yeah, I would have been in elementary school. Because, yeah, that would have been, yeah. You're already out of college. Yeah, you would be old enough to be my parents then. I mean, I'm not that old. There's certain things that make me feel old, like my brother almost being, you know, when my brother turned 21, I was just like, oh gosh. I didn't feel old until my younger brother actually was old enough to drink. And then I was just like, okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong here. I guess to be fair, you know, I'm old enough to have had a desk job for 5 years, and then been left that 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So all right, we've got a mixing cup. Oops, I've just added more resin to it by putting it face down on the table. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Let me see here. Oh, your younger cousin in high school, you changed your diapers? Oh man, yeah, the one that got me was, I helped in the nursery at church growing up when I was in like middle school or whatever. I helped in the nursery at church. And there was one little kid, so she was like, what, preschool age maybe? And I remember her being in the nursery. And then at one point I was helping again, obviously a few years later, because I realized that suddenly she was helping in the nursery. That one got me. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I'm the adult here now. I'm not the youth helper. Because I'd get like a middle schooler, two middle school, high school kids to help out in there. And suddenly it's just like, oh, I'm the adult in here now. I'm no longer the middle school, high school helper. All right, so let me grab some safety equipment. And let's pour some resin. I might need to order some more resin already. So I got that. I got this. I am going to be a little bit muffled the rest of the stream. Just a heads up. You can equate me to whatever fictional character. I always say Darth Vader, some people say Bane. But I am going to sound like this for the rest of the stream, just because I'd rather not breathe in resin fumes. It's better to be safe than sorry. But let's get that on. We're gonna get our gloves on, and we'll be good to go. All right, so I'm gonna be using a 2-part resin, and it's equal parts A and B. That's the hard one. Actually, before I do this, one thing I want to do before I actually do this, I want to tuck these in. The strings on my hoodie, because I'm going to drag those through the resin otherwise. Okay. I've still got a bit of resin. Okay. So I'm going to be going quiet here for a second while I attempt to pour, because I cannot talk and pour at the same time, or we will have a mess. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I will be right back. Alright, there's part A. That was the actual resin, and now we're going to add the hardener. The reason I have my hand here is so that I can actually see the lines. Otherwise it gets like, it's kind of hard to see. It's like kind of partially translucent. So it gets hard to see the lines. All right. All right, it'll be a little bit while we mix this up. So while we mix this up, so I think a couple of you might have not been here while I was talking about shop stuff earlier, and I was like kind of trying to decide what I want to do next with my shop. I'm like, do I want to try making, hello again, do I want to try making like tutorial videos for YouTube? Do I want to like start a Patreon? Where do I want to go next? That's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. There's lots of options, so of course I haven't picked one. But one thing that I was talking about doing was like having a different theme of the month that I make a bunch of dice based around. I think that could be fun. Just because I like making dice based around something. Although at the moment I'm just making a bunch of different things. To be fair, some of these are for like a commission. Some of these we're just messing around because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to make. Let's just try something. Oh, it's very cold in this room, which means that this stuff is going to take a little bit for this to actually set up. That's there's a trick with resin where if you want it to like have fewer bubbles, you put the resin in like a warm water, because it'll make it thinner. The trade-off though is that when you heat up the resin, it'll make it cure faster. So it's kind of it just speeds up the reaction of the two. So, it's cold in here, which means that this is rather thick, and also it's going to take a while for this to set up. Which could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's still mixing though. How was your food, Omar? I'm kind of hungry. I had Chinese food for dinner, but I'm kind of hungry again. I might have to have a snack after this. Ooh, you know what sounds good? We have everything bagels and cream cheese and lox upstairs. I think we also have tomato and onion. I might have a bagel and lox. That sounds really good. There's definitely still spots where this is not mixed completely. I kind of just keep an eye on it. You can kind of see when it's not mixed completely. Chinese food is always good, but you literally also get hungry like 2 hours after. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it just, I'm always hungry after having Chinese food. It's like I'm super full for like half an hour, and then 2 hours later I'm like, I could eat. I don't know what it is. But I do think a bagel and lox sounds good, so I might do that. I normally wouldn't do that on an everything bagel, but that's what we've got, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be thinking about that the rest of the stream. I'm just gonna be thinking about lox and bagels. They always make me. It's kind of funny. Lox and bagels always make me think of Christmas, which seems like a kind of a funny juxtaposition, I guess, because like the lox and bagels, like that comes from like the Jewish half of my family. Like I feel like that's I always think of that as I don't know. I always think of that as coming from like the Jewish half of my family. It feels like a very like Jewish food, which is kind of funny. But like we'd always have it. We do like Christmas breakfast. We don't do Christmas dinner in my family. We do Christmas breakfast. So we have like eggs and sausage and toast or rolls or maybe pie, that sort of stuff. But like we'd always have like lox and bagels too. So it always makes me think of that. Fond memories.
I'm not like, for people that don't know, I mean, are there people that don't know what lox are? It's kind of like a smoked salmon. Um, yeah, it's kind of like a smoked salmon. But it's you go and you have that on like a little bit of that on a bagel with some cream cheese, and then I like it with like onion and tomato. It's good. I actually like using just a little bit of lox because I'm not a big seafood person. Like the rest of my family loves seafood in general, like fish and crab and lobster and shrimp. I like shrimp, I guess. I'm not a fan of seafood. Maybe that's why I just use a little bit. I'm like, I just want a little bit of that smoked salmon flavor in there. Just a little bit to go with my my onion tomato cream cheese sandwich. Maybe it's just because I really like cream cheese. Like, I feel like cream cheese frosting could make anything better. I like cheesecake was definitely my favorite dessert as a kid. Might still be my favorite dessert. I really like cheesecake. Give me a good like cheese Danish. Like, I like. I don't know if actually what sort of cheese is in a cheese Danish. Is it cream cheese? I usually think of cream cheese as being in like the cheese that's used for sweet things. Cause I like cream cheese frosting on like a cake is like the best. Oh, like a carrot cake with some cream cheese frosting. That's good. That's definitely good. All right, let's see here. I think this is almost done. I'm just scraping the sides and the bottom. Make sure that there's not any just stuck in one spot. I don't want, a bunch of part A in one spot or a bunch of part B in one spot. And I think, yeah, there's still a little bit that needs mixed in. Let me scrape off the stir stick too, because again, I don't want a whole bunch of like part A stuck to the stir stick itself. I'm gonna stir that up. Make sure that things are mixed together completely. Looks like there might still be a few spots where like you can kind of like see, have you ever looked at like a piece of like quartz or like a clear rock? You can kind of see a crack in it, and it's the same color, it's just like the light reflects off of it kind of differently. That's kind of what happens in here, and that's how I can see that it's not completely mixed, is I can kind of see where the light reflects off of where the part A and part B are against each other but not mixed together. There's kind of that crack effect. And so I'm going to scrape bottom again. What's this? Thanks for following, Mountain Tree. Oh, I thought you were for some reason. Maybe it's just because you've been hanging out. Probably just because you've been hanging out. But I think this is looking a little bit better. I'm not seeing any more of the kind of light reflection in there. So let me just scrape this off one more time. Make sure that there's not a whole bunch of part A or part B. All right, well, it has now been remedied. No. All right, let's make sure that that's looking pretty good. I don't see the light like hitting anything. I think we're probably good to go. I think we are good to go. Let me just stick along the side here. So I'm going to start splitting things up into the different mixing cups. I like splitting things up into the different mixing cups instead of like working on one thing and then adding it to just one and then moving on to working on that and then adding it to another, because I did that once. I did that once where I left all of the resin in here while I was working on like one thing, and because of what I was saying before, where when the resin is warm it sets up faster, and because the process of it setting up is exothermic, so it releases heat. It got warm and it started setting up. So I ended up with some somewhat cured resin. There's a cat hair in there. Get out of there. How much resin do I have? Oh, I think I have just the right amount. Excellent. We've got 15 milliliters in there. 15 in here. Alright, there's 15 in there, and then we just need a little tiny bit in here. This is our mica powder that we want to kind of saturate. We want a lot of mica powder kind of compared to the resin, because we want that resin to get really, really thick, and we want it to be very, very heavy, which we're going to do by mixing in a bunch of rock, because mica's a type of rock. I always mica was always like my favorite growing up, because it kind of is in like layers. It's really fun to pick apart. So if you get like a piece of mica, it's like in really, really thin layers, and you can just sit there and like pull apart the layers. So like it's really satisfying to do, and then it kind of makes me sad, because it's just like, oh well, now I've broken this. But it's really fun to pull apart. All right, so there's our saturated resin. All right, so this is a D8 and a D2. We probably only need like 5 milliliters or something. Just do 5. I'll go a little bit more than 5, since I have the D2 there as well. And that's going to be green. And then this is going to be our D6 and our D4, so we'll do about 5 for this as well. I think 5 should be enough. I'm thinking about, so like I do fate dice, which have pluses and minuses on them, as well as D6 sets. And I found that a set of 4 6-sided dice, like those, takes about a little bit less than 20 milliliters. So that means each die takes a little bit less than 5 milliliters. And then actually, I thought of something I forgot. This works. I wanted to do a little bit of. Oh, we're just gonna get the sticky. I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer to the resin for the coral reefs. So I want to add a little tiny bit of shimmer. And to do that, I'm just going to take this macro pearl powder, and I'm just going to dip that really quickly and put that in there. I want so little in there because I'm going to use so little resin. And we'll put that, and get that mixed up and put that in there. So this one, right, okay. I'm like, am I missing something? I feel like I have too much resin left. So let's put about, I might have enough resin here to do a set of fake dice too, now I'm thinking about it. But let's put, we've got about 60 milliliters, let's put about 30 in here, maybe a little bit more. I want enough of the clear left. I want enough of this clear left that I can put it into the geode ones. So, because I need the tops to be clear. All right, so this is going to be black. No colors anymore, I want them painted black. I just have all sorts of songs in my head today, apparently. I had quite a bit of the black pigment this time. Hopefully that's not too much. A little bit of this goes a long way, but let's get this all mixed up. I do want it nice and opaque. Well, I think we'll be good. I think we will be good. So the reason I'm making so much black is I'm going to use this in our Geode dice as kind of like the bottoms. So to kind of block off the bottom of the Geode so you can only see it on one side. And then also I want to make some phone grip blanks. Alright, that looks nice and opaque, so that's good. Again, I'm just going to kind of scrape the sides a little bit so that I don't end up with a bunch of clear resin somewhere in there. Alright, and we still got a little bit of clear left. So, let's see here, what do we want to do first? That's the real question. It's like, what is the order of operations here? I think let's get the Geode ones maybe going first. Let me mix these up and see how they look. This is all the green stuff. So this has the green foil and the green glitter in it. I'm worried that the glitter's going to sink too much, but it might be okay. And then this has our black and our kind of yellowish shimmer. And then let me add our green pigment as well, which I was gonna do. A couple drops of that. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, I like the yellow shimmer. Let's see if I can get it so you can see. I don't know if you'll be able to see the shimmer, but you can kind of see it there. It doesn't want to focus on it, of course. There's so much glare. You can kind of see that shimmer, though. There you go. Yeah, you can kind of see that glitter in there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the light, but yeah, there's some glitter in there. Is this green dark enough? So I'm gonna add one more drop of green because this looks, fairly green as is, but it's gonna be thinner once it's in the dice. It's not gonna be all in one big, chunk like this is now. So let's add a little bit more green to make it a little bit darker. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Alright, cool. So we've got all of our colors there. I'm debating whether I want to do that first so that the mica has time to sink, or if I want to do this a little bit later so that the glitter doesn't sink. That's the hard part. That is the hard part there. I think let's at least get the black into these and get the our inserts in, because I want time for air to be able to kind of escape. And so I can know that I need to add more resin and stuff. So we'll start with that. So for this, we're gonna add. I think I want a this. We're gonna add a little bit of black to each of these. This is a pretty opaque black. And I want enough that it's going to actually go up the sides and kind of cover part of it. But at the same time, I don't want so much that it ends up covering the whole thing. So I haven't done enough with the inserts to kind of know where that balance is. So I'm just kind of guessing at the moment. I'm just kind of putting enough to cover the bottom, and then I'm hoping that that'll get displaced a little bit. I guess we'll see. that to all of these. And actually I want this one as well. I made kind of a weird little geode thing for the D2 as well. And let's put a little bit more in the D20 and in the D12. And I'm just going to kind of hope that I have enough in the others, I guess. Okay. Alright, and then the rest of the black's going to probably end up there. So let's add I'm going to add these in now, and let's see if it's enough. I guess some of these, I can put them in, so I'm taking my little inserts and I'm pushing them in. Some of these I should be able to see how high up the black goes. Oh, I think that works out pretty well, actually. Hopefully the others go in as easily. So I don't really want it to go up and over the top part. So I do want to be able to see it. I want it to clear there. But I do want it to go up the sides enough that it's kind of like a little treat on the top that you get to see. Cool. Actually, I think I might have guesstimated correctly on these. I think I added the right amount. So that's exciting. I do want to make sure that I put these in with the face that I want at the top, alright? Which can sometimes be easier said than done, trying to get these to go in properly. Alright, oops. Like that one had a little bit of the black resin that decided it wanted to go up one side. I'm going to try and keep that from happening. And that's part of the reason I'm doing these first, is so I can let the black resin settle and stuff for a minute before I add all of the clear. I might have added a little bit too much resin on the D12. Alright. Let's get some of this resin out of here. Although it's not completely even, so again. Let's see here. Okay. That's a little bit better. Hopefully I didn't put too much in the D20. Now I'm concerned I put too much in the D20. Let me take a little bit out. Fingers crossed that there's not too much in the D20. Oh, this is going to look kind of cool, I think. So these are matte, just because I didn't. They're blank inserts that go into shiny resin, so you don't actually see. They're not going to look matte once they're inside the resin, but I have a little bit of resin on my fingers, so it's making them shiny. I can suddenly see inside of them better. It's like, oh, I bet these are going to be pretty. Ooh, come on. Come on, work with me here. Yay! Okay. Cool. We've got all of our inserts in now. The only one that I'm concerned about is the D12. I worry there might be a little bit too much black on this one. So I want to take this out. It'll be a mess, but I can wipe it off a little bit. And I wouldn't have nearly as much black. Alright, I'm gonna possibly make a mess. This might end up being a mess. But we're gonna wipe off this insert and try re-adding it. So there's just a little bit too much of the black in the D12. And actually, I want to strip this off as well. And like I said, I was estimating. All right. That looks a little bit better. All right, cool. So we're gonna let these sit for just a second and let let the black get kind of even. Let the black get kind of even. And then let it kind of spread out a little bit. And then we will add our clear on top. Moving on, let's do our green ones. We're gonna do our Emerald City dice. One short day in the Emerald City. I'm just gonna have that song in my head from Wicked. While I make Emerald City dice. So I'm gonna do, the first part's just gonna be kind of like green flakes and green glitter. Oh, thanks. I really like singing. I usually try to avoid it on stream because I don't want to get. To be fair, I was that kid that was singing everywhere. Like, I would not shut up. Like, I was always singing. But I try to avoid it now because I don't want to get like sued or something for doing it on the internet. Otherwise, I'd probably be singing 24/7. Alright, let's try and add. Ooh. We're going to add some more of this. I want to add a couple more of these flakes to this D2 though, because it looks kind of sparse. There we go. We're going to add a couple of flakes. So I want to do half of the dye with this, so I'm going to go back and add a little bit more to each of these until it's at about halfway. I kind of went through all of them and added a little bit at a time so that I could make sure that I end up with some in all of them. But I think we're getting pretty close here. Let's add some more to these D10s, I think. Maybe a little bit more to the D20. Trying to get it fairly even. Get them all roughly half and half. The D20 always like takes more resin than I think it does, I feel like. A little bit more for these D10s. Alright. I really don't care if it's a little messy, that's fine. These are going to kind of mix together anyways. I am going to try and kind of do it so that the that resin with the green flakes and then this green resin with the black flakes, they're going to kind of swirl together a little bit. I'm going to kind of pour this so that it will swirl. And then we'll add our mica on top. So I'm going to kind of pour this from enough of a height that it'll hopefully, oops, into the mold, please. But I do want it to kind of swirl together a little bit. Oops, trying to add enough to all of these. Cool, I think we're going to have just the right amount of resin, which is good because I measured it. So it'd be kind of unfortunate if we didn't have enough resin. Alright, I think we're going to be good. I do have a little bit of more resin in here, but let me kind of get all of these. I actually don't want these overfilled yet, so I usually want the molds to be a little bit overfilled, so there's like a little extra resin. I actually don't want that because I'm going to add our mica. I don't want it just falling off, so I'm going to actually take a little bit off the top of these. They're a little bit more flat. And we're going to add our mica resin on top. Put this on the lids. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and add that in. So we've got our resin here that's a little, it's like not a ton of resin, but there's a bunch of mica powder in it. And so it's going to be heavier because the mica is a type of rock. And we're going to drizzle a little bit of this on top, and it should sink. Hopefully it'll sink. Hopefully there's enough mica in there. I guess we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. But, oh good, yeah, it's going to sink. So we're just drizzling a little bit of this onto each of these. It really doesn't take a lot. I probably added way too much to the D20 and the D12. Just want a little bit. I found that if I do like much at all, if I do quite a bit, it ends up like with way too much. It just kind of like all falls to the bottom, and then it ends up as just like one giant, you know, face of mica. That's not nearly as interesting. I want the tendrils. I don't want the one giant face of mica. So let's get this last little bit. I'm going to put this in the D2. The D2 is always kind of a strange case where I want to kind of get it spread out a little bit more, maybe. Alright, we'll see what happens with the D2, and then we'll use this last little bit. If some of these need a little bit more resin, we'll put this on top. Like our D8 here is looking kind of flat. I want them to be a little bit domed so that there is a little bit of extra resin once I put these in the pressure pot. So I'm going to be curing these under a bunch of pressure. I'm going to be putting them into a vessel that I'll then add a bunch of air to so that it's pressurized. And that will take all of the air bubbles and squish them down really, really small so you can't see them, and so that they don't, you know, cause any problems. But that does also mean that I need some resin to fill in the space that the air bubbles were. Okay. I need a little bit of extra resin to fill in that space, and so I'm adding a little bit of extra resin to the top so that it's a little bit domed. I'm adding a little bit to the lids as well, both for that, so that there's a little bit of extra resin, and so that air doesn't get trapped between the lids and the main part, because, you know, there's like zeros here and stuff, and they can get like bubbles trapped in them. Trying to avoid that if I can. I could use some more. This one. We'll add it to this one. So there we go. There's that. I do think I need to grab any last little bit of clear that I have. Oh good, there's a little bit. I need to add this to the D2 lid. Add that to this lid because I want when I have a set that's kind of like part one color, part another color, I usually try to do that with the D2 as well. Except that with the D2, it's kind of like horizontal instead of horizontal instead of vertical. I had to stop and think there for a second about which one was horizontal and which was vertical. Horizontal, vertical. Yeah, so it's like flat, so I want to get like one side of it to be a different color than the other side, as opposed to one layer of it different color than the other. So I usually try to do that on the lid as well. All right, let me grab my thing here. This is just a little lid that I use to put everything into the pressure pot. Just makes it easier. I am going to spritz everything down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that's to help break the surface tension so the bubbles on the top will pop. All right, I'm going to set these over here. I'm going to let them sit for a minute before I put the lids on, just so that there's a little bit of time for the for air to rise to the surface. Because even though I'm going to put them in the pressure pot and they're going to get squished, like I was talking about, and the air is hopefully going to get squished down really, really small, if there's a ton of air, if there's like a lot of air, then I'll just end up with having not enough resin, and I'll end up with like big gaps, and that just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. Alright, this is our resin for our coral reefs. I'm just going to do clear, I think. Let me do, actually, I'm not going to make it blue, but I'm going to add such a tiny amount of blue. It'll hopefully help prevent it from kind of yellowing. It'll make it look whiter. Alright. That's kind of an interesting fact. If you want something to look more white, you can add a little bit of blue to it, and that'll make it look a little bit more white. If you want to make something look more black, you can add a little bit of blue to it, and it'll make it look more black. Very, I guess cool colors just look more neutral or something. That was something that I kind of learned in a painting class that I was taking at one point. Was that, like, because we were mixing our own, black paint, and like I made mine a little bit more cool toned. Like some people made it a little bit more warm toned and stuff, but I just liked it more cool toned. And like the instructor also was just like, yeah, it just makes it feel more black if it's a little bit more blue. Yeah, a little bit of blue makes it feel a little bit more black. Alright, I'm going to move these over. These are the our little coral reefs that I put together at the beginning of the stream. And we're gonna put some resin in here. I'm taking my glove off. Let me figure out what I'm doing here. I don't want to grab these with my sticky hands. So let's fill them. I'm going to take this glove off, actually. I'm going to take this glove off so I can grab these. And we're going to fill them with some resin. Ugh, kind of making a mess here. I'm putting my gloves back on. It's not really helping to have it off. We're just going to get them probably slightly sticky. I don't really want to fill these up all the way because I do want to have space to put the lids on. New glove. It's not like it's a medical procedure or something. It's not too big of a deal if I get a little bit of resin on my hand or something. It's not, ideal to get resin on your hands, but this isn't like high stakes. I'm doing it more to avoid getting sticky than anything. It's not good to get, a bunch of resin on yourself. You can get, like, develop an allergy to it. But I'm not too worried if I get a little bit on me. Bit of sticky. Sigh. Where are you going with that? No. Alright. I think pretty good. I need maybe a little bit more resin in these just because I'm going to put these in the pressure pot too, and they're going to get a little bit, going to go down a little bit. I wanted to cover the coral. I don't know why I used that. I'm just gonna go over here and add drops of it now. What was the point of that? Alright. Alright, I think actually I ended up with just the right amount of resin. I think we're good. That one's actually a little bit shorter maybe than the other stuff. This one I think could use another little drop just because there's like one piece that's just kind of sticking up there. Come on. Let's see, it should hopefully just try and auto level itself. Alright. There's a cat hair there. Alright. So we've got those. And then I want to put those probably onto a little thing. I'll put them on the bottom tray. Alright, we've got these over here. Let's do our dirt one. Ah, I definitely need more stuff in here. That is not nearly opaque enough for me. So let's add some more stuff. Add some more coffee grounds. And we're gonna add a little bit more cinnamon. Yes, I said cinnamon. It makes a really good brown color. So we're gonna add some more cinnamon. And then we'll add maybe a little bit more cumin as well. For a little bit of added texture. And that should be good. That's looking a little bit more opaque. That's good. And this is going to be a blank D6 and then a drop of it into a D4. Because this is going to be, we're doing, it's for a commission. This one I just want to drop in the D4. Because it's going to be kind of like a base for something else to then rest on. The D6 though, we're just filling. This is going to be partially painted over, so it's not too big of a deal if it's not perfect. Let's see, D6. So there we go, we got our D6 poured, and then our D4, might need one more drop. I'm trying to get it so that it's like enough in there that there's enough of a flat space for me to set something on, but I don't want it so deep that there's not enough space for something to be set on. Like, I need it flat enough that I can set something on it, but I need enough space above this that I can actually have room to set something on it. Alright, I think that's pretty close. I think that'll be good. Got a little bit of leftover dirt. Alright, and this is going to be green. So we're going for an opaque green in both of these. I want kind of like a nice bright green though. So we're going to go for kind of this bright green. And it's nice and bright. Good bright green color. but I need it to be opaque, so I'm going to add some white, which is going to make it not quite as bright. So mix that up so you can see. Actually, no, that is still pretty good. Still pretty nice and bright. I think I want it a little bit darker than that, though, actually, so I'm going to use a slightly darker green and add a drop of it. Let's see how this looks. I think that might be it. That might be it. A good kind of grassy green color. Good kind of grassy green color. There we go. The color's never quite right on camera, I feel like, but it is a good, like, grass green color. You just gotta believe me on this one. And it looks opaque enough for me too. So I'm going to add that to our D8, our blank D8 mold. So this is a blank D8. As well as over here. And we're going to do that with our D2 here as well. But I just want a thin layer of it in the D2 because I'm going to be painting then on top of it. So I want it thin enough that I can then, it wouldn't run into the lid, so that I can paint and then add a layer of clear. So if it's too thick, you know, I won't be able to put the lid on later. I think I can add a little bit more. I guess maybe I should have titled this stream Green Dice, since I seem to be doing a bunch of green things. That's the real theme here. And drop. Alright, and there we go. Let's spritz these down as well. I see some bubbles on the top. Again, spritzing things down, help break the surface tension on the resin. Help the bubbles pop on the surface. So we've got a bit of green, a bit of brown. And then we've got a bunch of black resin here. And the black resin, I was going to add to these foam grip molds. And again, I don't need a ton. I'm just trying to make a base that I can then paint on top of and add stuff to. There's another cat hair there. Get out. Oh, it's always with the cat hair, isn't it? I need a little bit more. I do want to make sure that it coats the entire bottom here, though. I think we might have enough to do all 6 of these. Let's see here, yeah. I think we might have enough to do all 6. I think we might have just enough to do all 6. The point here is that I will then have like a background that I can add stuff to. In this case I kind of wanted to like try painting things. I did a necklace for a bazaar in which I did a layer of black resin and then I painted on like a little section of Starry Night. And so now I want to do more things like that. I really like how it turned out, so I want to do some more jewelry and other things that have like little painted bits. I also have some blank dice upstairs that I should paint. I need to decide what I want to do. Should I do Starry Night? Like, I did Starry Night because I know I can kind of paint in that style. That's something that I can kind of mimic. But I don't know. Should I try doing some original stuff? People like the Starry Night and things. Excellent. These ones I probably actually should have poured these earlier because these won't fit in the pressure pot. So these are actually going to be left out, and I'm just going to try and get as much of the bubbles popped on these as possible. So. Trying to get bubbles to rise to the surface. Let's push these, get bubbles to pop on the surface. They're looking much more flat now. I'll probably revisit this in a minute once I get everything else all squared away. So we still have our clear resin, and so our last thing to do, apart from maybe some little extra dice, is to fill these up, because I forgot. Forgot about these. I'll be honest, forgot I was working on these. I probably should have done these a little bit sooner, because I don't want a bunch of air bubbles, and if this is too thick, we're going to end up with air bubbles, because it's not going to sink down in there. So let's start adding some clear resin. To these. The D2, actually, that is the thing. I do think that the D2, I want to add this as late as possible, because I want to avoid displacing the black on that one. The other ones, if I displace the black a little bit, that's fine. Like, if it squishes the black in one spot and makes it go up in another, it's not a huge deal. With the D2, if I do that, I'm probably going to lose the little insert piece completely, because it'll just get covered. So I'm gonna add that. Here's what I'm gonna do. Since I need to get that down in there, I'm just gonna squish these a bit, and air bubbles are gonna rise to the surface. And I'm gonna pop those air bubbles and try and get resin to take their place. Alright, definitely still air bubbles in here. I'm definitely going to have to add more resin to these as well. Alright, let me do that for all of these. I'll come back to that. I'm just going to kind of squish things a little bit. Try and get the resin to kind of get sucked down in there. I'm going to go down the line and do that. You're going to hit the hay? You're trying to sleep. Alright, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by, Omar. Glad you could hang out for a bit. Thanks for resubbing, too. Alright. Lots of air bubbles on this D12. Oh yeah, you can see where it's starting to like move down in there. There's a big air bubble that's coming up. So we want to get resin to take the place of where that air bubble was. And some of these have air bubbles that are appearing, which is kind of a good thing. Just spritz that, get some of these air bubbles to pop. Alright, so that's kind of what I'm doing at this point. I'm trying to get some of my, as much resin to these as I can. And a little bit more resin, some of these, because it needs it. And we're going to go through and pop air bubbles. Anyways, while we're doing that, yeah, I think these might actually turn out kind of cool. This is a little bit of an experiment to see what happens, and to see maybe what I'll need to change in the future, because, you know, maybe there might be a better way there's probably a better way to do this, I don't know. That's kind of the thing with, like, experiments, is that usually how the experiments usually go is that I end up finding out what I would do different next time. Like, even if the dice turn out cool, quite often if I'm experimenting, I'll just find out, like, what would I change? And that's valuable information too. Like, that is valuable information too. It is useful to know what you'd do differently next time. Alright, sorry. Got a little distracted there trying to get air bubbles out. Totally zoned out for just a second. Which, I mean, that's normal for me. Let's be randomly zoning out. Yeah, that seems about right. I'm getting fewer and fewer air bubbles, I feel like, so that's a good sign. That was definitely still an air bubble. Alright. But I am trying to get some of these. Some of these are working. Oh, I think I'm starting to fade for the night too. I probably should have gone to bed earlier than I did. I mean, that's like, I say that like all the time though. Like, I probably should have gone to bed earlier than I did. I guess I just always should have gone to bed earlier than I did. I'm a night owl. I'm a night owl. Alright, that's got some air bubbles at the top, but it's not getting too many air bubbles that are coming up still, so that's a good sign. Look at D20. D20 still has a few air bubbles coming up. Okay, we're going to get those worked out. I see one. Let's see, you can kind of see if I can get it so you can see, there's kind of air bubbles in a bunch of the corners here. Yeah, you can see those air bubbles there. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get rid of so that can get replaced with resin, because it's kind of in the corners. It's really where resin needs to get stuck down into. Okay, I don't know why it's always this D10 that I get distracted by, but I keep getting distracted by that D10, I guess. There's a bunch of bubbles on this D10. I guess maybe it's just because the D10s I got a bunch of bubbles. Alright. I'm wondering if this is thick enough for me to now add this to my D2. Let's try it. I'm going to add it to the part that I don't want to turn black first. And then I will start adding it on top of the black. Oh, it might be okay actually. It might be okay actually, and then we'll add some of this to the lid. Cool. My D2 might actually be okay. So this is kind of how it's hopefully going to end up. But all of them going to have kind of like that sparkly spot to them, kind of on the inside. I just need to get all the air bubbles to disappear first. Let's get everything down. Alright. I think things are looking quite a bit better. I'm seeing less and less air. There's still a few like air bubbles and stuff. Oh, the D12 actually has quite a few air bubbles. This is kind of like playing whack-a-mole, I guess. I don't know. It's that same. I do find it kind of a satisfying task to do. Like, I don't know. It's kind of fun to me. Alright, now about the D20. Oh, there's definitely some air in the D20. Yeah, we'll let these sit, I think, for another couple minutes, and then we'll probably end up adding a little bit more resin. That will be 8, okay. I'm going to start adding a little bit to the lids, though. Set these over on my little tray as well. Get them out of the way. Try not to stick my arm in them, which is easier said than done. Get the cat hair off of there, apparently. It's always cat hair. Can never escape the cat hair. It's like the bane of my resin existence. Alright, D8. D6. Alright, I've already got it on D2. I'm just going to leave that out for a second. Alright, so we've still got some clear resin. We might need a little bit of that for, how much we got actually? Only got 10 milliliters. We might need a little bit of that for some of those, but we've got some clear, we've got some green. Let's maybe we've got some brown. I do think maybe we could do some green and some brown together, and that might be kind of cool, kind of like grass. Let's do that first. Let's do like I've been doing like a lot of D20s. I don't know if I have enough for a D20 though. I don't know if that'll be enough for a D20. I've been doing like D20s recently just because they seem to be fairly popular. So let's try doing a D20 with some brown and some green. Do a drop of brown. Do a bit of green. Do a drop of brown. Get it up. Brown. Do some green. I've found that this does kind of a nice swirly effect. At least I think it does. Do some brown. Do some green. And then I think I'm going to do the last little bit of brown. There's not a ton left here. Do the last little bit of it. I'll just kind of scrape that into one of the corners here. And then we'll do green on top. There we go. Last little bit of brown. Excellent. Got that used up, which is always good. And it looks like we have enough of this green. We'll have a little bit of green left over, which is kind of nice because we got this other green that's left over. So we can use both greens in something. Probably another D20. There's one D20. Let's do this. We could do something with maybe a drop of green ink as well. So let's do, I'm doing an extra of these, but let's do a D20. Let's see, what do we want? D20 down. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of clear. A little bit of clear. I'm going to add a drop of green ink. Drop of green ink, nice dark green. Let's do a drop of white ink too, actually. And then we're going to add a little bit more clear from a high enough distance that that kind of gets squished around a bit. And then we're going to add our other greens in. Kind of get them out of the way. I'll kind of swirl them in a bit. I don't want them just sitting in a layer or anything, but let's get all of our green in here. Apparently our theme at the moment is just green. Or doing green dice. Alright, let's get that in there. There's all of that used up. And then let's do our kind of semi-opaque grass green. Get that in there too. And kind of swirl that around as well. And we'll do the last little bit in clear. And I've still got a little bit of clear left, which is good because I've got that for, got the last little bit of clear for the ones over here that might need a little bit more. All right. Pop the bubble in service. All right, cool. Got a couple of D20s made now too. They're always good to have. Extra D20s are always useful. Let's pop some bubbles there. Okay. Cool, so I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let me start getting the lid on some of these, and then we will check on the ones that might need a little bit more clear. Let me spritz everything down one last time, just to help pop bubbles, although we're getting to the point where the resin is a little bit thicker, and so it's not as easy for the bubbles to pop on the surface. But we can start getting some of the lids on anyways. All right, so we're going to do like our green one here. We added a bit of green mica powder. Let's get some of that. Move it over. Start getting these lids on. Get that cat hair out of there. All right. Doesn't look like there's too many bubbles on the lids or anything, so doing good there. There's our D2. I usually try to put the D2 under something. We'll see if I need to on this. And it's usually because I add way too much resin to it. Oh, this was actually okay. This one I didn't add way too much resin to. But some of them I'll add way too much resin to the D2, and then like the lid doesn't quite want to stay on right. So I end up putting it underneath something else and kind of sandwich between a couple things so that the lid stays in the right spot. 20. The D10 is there. Actually, I was wondering if there's an air bubble in the 0 here, but it's looking pretty okay. This one is a little bit loose, but that's okay. Oh. I need to decide what I want to do for Saturday stream. Like I said, we will be streaming at noon Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. It should be what is listed. I thought I was going to be streaming at a different time, but I am going to be doing noon. There is a flake of something in there. Did I get it, whatever it was? Maybe I got it, whatever it was. I just thought there was like a flake of purple in there, which was not quite what I was going for. It would look good. I do like purple and green, but not quite what I'm going for. press this one down one more time. Get some bubbles out of there. This one's going to be painted over, so it's not as big of a deal if it's not perfect, but alright. Let us move on to the things over here that might need a little bit more clear resin. So we've got, these are the ones that we were popping all the bubbles on earlier. Let me clear out my, everything's green now though. Everything is green. I have green resin everywhere. Okay, I think this one's looking pretty good. This is our D8. Let me just make sure there's no bubbles in the on the lid here, because there are. And we'll be good to go. All right. Excellent. I'm excited to see how these geode sort of dice turn out. I'm not sure how they're going to turn out, so I'm cautiously cautiously hopeful. Yeah, we'll go with cautiously hopeful. A few bubbles on the surface here. Alright, I think we're ready to just kind of put the lids on these things. That might be okay. D6, another bubble in the little 6 circle part. Is there a word? Is there a word for the hole in the number? That's an oddly specific thing, I suppose. Alright, 56. It doesn't seem like I have a lot of dice, but that's because I have those, the foam grips, and those actually take a bit of resin. Alright, here's your D4. I think it's looking pretty good. Had a few bubbles there that I was just trying to last minute get rid of. Another cat hair. Always cat hair. Never a cat. No, wait, that's not the same. Alright, D10. This one, I think I'm going to need to put up against something, because I don't know, that lid seems like it's not quite, I don't know, it doesn't want to hold its spot, maybe. That, so much cat hair! Ah! So much cat hair! I will, let's see what it's today. Today is Wednesday. I'm going to look at, I'm going to go look through some of the games. The hole in a letter is called a counter. Oh, sweet. I'm going to assume that applies to numbers as well. It amuses me to know that there is actually a word for that. Like, there is a specific word that means the hole in a letter or number. It seemed like a space in the middle of an O or A, for example. Yeah, that was what I was trying to figure out for the numbers. It seemed like one of those oddly specific things that there might be a word for, but it amuses me to know that there is actually a word for it. It's one of those things that is oddly specific. Yeah, see this D2 I overfilled a bit, so I need to press this up against something and put something on top of it, I think. Because it's going to try and wiggle around a bit. Alright, let's get you in there. Get the lid in the right spot. I get to work the other way. I find language just very interesting. I don't know. Language is just fascinating. I've talked before about the, I still have some clear resin here, so we could do something with that. Oh, we'll use that in here. This is a little fate die. I always need some more fate dice extras. That's what I have the least of. I need to make some more molds. That's what I was thinking of doing some sort of like tutorial video on first, was mold making, because I found that that is, so I post all of my VODs, so all of these streams, I post all of the streams after the fact on YouTube, and I've found that my most watched ones on YouTube are all of the mold making ones where I've made molds, which I guess kind of makes sense. So I was thinking of trying to do like a mold making tutorial just to do that. Let's do, should we do a D6? Do I have enough for a D6? We're just going to do a picked D6. We're going to do it pretty much the same way. With the other green, just to see what happens. Oh man, this ink gets everywhere. Look at this. Look at this. I'm bleeding green. There's so much green ink. Look at this. Let's see if there's enough resin here. I might have just enough resin for this D6. I have my fingers crossed. Yay! Just enough resin for this D6. Just enough. Cool. Alright, that's all of our resin used up. There's like a little bit left here, but there's not much we can do with this. I don't want it on it. Alright, I want to scrape that off so that there's not a whole bunch of resin left on it. Alright, let's get these last few things lidded, and then I will probably call it for tonight. So I can go get things into the pressure pot. I need to move some stuff around and fill the air compressor and everything, so that'll take a minute. Like I was saying, I will be streaming on Saturday. I'll probably end up streaming Minecraft, but I'm gonna go look at some of the other games that were recommended. One way or another, probably some sort of game. Probably not resin, but no promises. I will, once I decide, I will probably mention it in the Discord. But I'm indecisive. I really should get better at like pre-planning like a weekly schedule, so figure out like what all I'm going to be doing streaming for the week, so that I can like post it on Twitter and stuff on like Monday, so people can decide if they want to come hang out and watch. That probably would be smart, so of course I haven't done it. I mean, I feel like it's on brand for it to be a disaster, right? That's part of the name. Every streamer says it. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better that it's not just me. It's not just me that's just like, oh man, I should be better at this. But yes, I will be back at noon on Saturday, probably playing some sort of game, probably Minecraft, but we'll see. So hopefully I can see you guys then. But I'm gonna go get the stuff into the pressure pot, so I'm gonna call it for tonight. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will see you later. Bye.